Hi everyone, welcome to another Lord of the Rings video. I wanted to do this showing you part of a commission I've been working on. So I won't call this a painting guide video because these are already in fact painted, as you can see. But there's something quite exciting here and I've really enjoyed painting them. So you can see we've got the two Games Workshop metal Ents. These are a relatively old kit. They came out a long time ago, but they were recently made available again for, I think it was made to order. And people went crazy for them. They sold out, and they're very popular models. They're personally not my favourite Games Workshop models, and whilst they fill a hole in the range. I do prefer the plastic one. My only problem with the plastic one is, of course, that there's not much scope to make different models with it. You can make a different pose, but the tree is very sort of like, you ain't got a choice. It's that tree or nothing. So these are great. Not my favourite. Enjoy painting them. They're relatively easy and quite straightforward. But what I wanted to show you was this other half of the commission I've been working on, because these are the exciting ones. We've got the new Forge World Quickbeam. This has been out for a couple of months now, but it's an absolutely fantastic model. Lots of detail on it, and actually a joy to paint. And then I've also got the Games Workshop plastic Treebeard. Now these are both a completely new territory for the Fangorn army list, because previously you had metal Treebeard and you had metal Ents. Oh, and obviously, of course, the plastic one. So the list was fairly limited, and they weren't that visually impressive. Now, if I bring old Treebeard in, you can see what I mean. So we've got old Treebeard here. This is one I got off eBay, and it's got a lot of good detail on it. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see the hobbits up on the top have got a good level of detail on their faces. There's a good level of detail on the beard. I added some clump foliage and bits and pieces and lots of tufts on the base just to make it look a bit more sort of foresty. But it's not a bad model. But then when you consider the size of Treebeard compared to a troll, he's not really that much bigger. He's probably about an inch bigger maybe, which doesn't quite look right. But if you compare it now, it towers over the troll. And even Quickbeam, who's meant to be a younger Ent, towers over the troll. So it really gives you a bit more of a sense of these things are huge. And that's why I like them so much. So, of course, the hobbits are detachable, as you can see. But then in the box you also get two hobbits. I call them dismounts. But yeah, they're the foot versions. So what we'll do is we'll stop for a little bit and we'll have a bit of a closer look at each of these models. So first up, we've got Quickbeam. Now I don't know how many parts this was, because the guy who I'm painting it for sent it to me already assembled. But I imagine from the looks of things it might be this is a separate arm. Some of these branches here might be separate. I'm not really too sure, but you can see that the amount of detail, like the twists and turns in the wood all over the body, the sort of like the knots here and there, the ivy growing up the arms, on the legs, his nose. I really think the faces are very, very good sculpt here. You've got two slightly different sized eyes, his mouth, his nose. It's a great model. Now to paint this, it was relatively simple, to be honest. I started off with an airbrush and went all over it with a medium brown, and then I applied a Army Painter strong tone to it, and then I went in with sort of like various layers of the original brown and adding a little bit of beige, just to try and differentiate all this sort of like really lovely texture in here, and gave it a few coats of dry brush. And then after that, I went in with the beige. I think it might have been Iraqi sand, or maybe I think it's bone white or something like that from Vallejo, and I just sort of like added some extra areas where it needed to be lighter, some streaking here and there to try and make the texture of the wood look like it's got grain to it. But overall, I mean, it's such a nice model that, as with a lot of these Forge World models, you can make a average paint job look great because the detail is there already in the model. So he's amazing. I absolutely love it. Next up, we've got Treebeard, and there's a bit of a different aesthetic going for Treebeard. Whereas Quickbeam's all sort of like twisty, and the texture comes from the actual sort of like what look like, I guess, vines, but they're not really vines, are they? Because he's a tree himself. Whereas Treebeard, you can see there's a lot of thick bark, and looking in the middle here, you can kind of see it looks like a cracked log. A log is cracked open, and there's a few spaces when you turn them around, you can see like the bark is coming away, as you would expect in older trees. Now, when to paint this one, I actually used the same brown through my airbrush, but I didn't like it, so I went over it with a grey, and then started adding brown and beige to the grey to work its way up to the final colour you can see here. And it's a much more suitable tone for Treebeard. He's an old tree. Added some green sort of like streaking in his beard to look a bit like moss. You can see he's got the sort of like the fungus growing on his head, bits and pieces here and there. I really like this hand, the detail they've got on the hand. So I picked out some of the wood grain in a grey there, so that you can see that it's all knotted and it's very gnarly. The two hobbits that ride on him, again, very nice models, detachable, so you can pop them off if you're not using the hobbits. And you've also got the two dismounts, foot versions. That are these. I did enjoy painting these. I'm painting a Fellowship of the Ring at the same time as well, and comparing the quality of these plastics to those old metals. The old metals do have a lot of character and they're very good, but these are much, I don't want to say simpler, but the models are, it's much easier to tell what's what. I don't want to get any focus here. There we go. In terms of the layers of clothing. So yeah, absolutely amazing kit. Games Workshop have really done the range proud by bringing these two in. They did the community a solid by bringing these back, so of course you can field an Ent army with a bit of variety. Personally, what I'd love to see is a far more modular Ent kit in plastic that is, I suppose, similar to the Isengard Troll, where you've got, I think it's, you get three options. You get the shield, you get a sword, you get a spear, you get a drum. You get so many different options with the troll. You get head options. So I'd love to see something like that for Ents, because let's be honest, everyone loves Ents. And they're a great army to play, and they've got some really good rules now that they've had adjustments in the most recent edition. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know I certainly have enjoyed painting these. And you can look at the level of details, it's stunning. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye for now.